By the churches of St James and St Mary Magdalene, this historic county's cricket teams have been playing on this very pitch for the last 134 years. But where is this slice of quintessentially British sporting life? Find out in just a moment.
Today's buyers can't wait to make their great escape from the coast and immerse themselves in rural living. At times it seems as if our properties over-deliver.
It's a bit bigger than I was expecting, really.
But then some aspects receive an overwhelming response.
Wow, that's a surprise.
Goodness, yes, what a surprise.
I didn't expect that. What a beautiful vista.
Today I'm in Somerset, and this is the county cricket ground in Taunton. The origins of cricket go back to the 1600s with a game called stow ball, which used a tree stump as a wicket and a leather bag filled with quills as a ball. But by the end of the 19th century, the modern rules had developed, and in 1875 the Somerset County Cricket Club was formed, and it's now one of the 18 top clubs in the country. Now, I'll be coming back to find out more about the history of cricket later in the show, but the noble game is not the only thing this county is famous for. Buying a property here in Somerset, you'll be pleased to know that prices hang temptingly below the national average. The average price for a detached house in England and Wales is £284,000 at the moment. But if you come shopping here in Somerset, you could make a saving of £7,000 on that price. Although there is price difference. The further south you go, for example, from the Somerset levels down towards the Dorset border, prices do go up. What about our buyers, though? What sort of people want to own a property in this glorious county? Let's meet them and find out.
Former marketing consultant Les met retired civil servant Jean when they were out walking as part of an organised group back in the late 90s.
I would describe Jean as being someone who is very loving, very caring, and also up for trying anything, an adventurer.
I would describe Les as the ideas man, coming up with all the ideas to fulfil all these adventures that we end up going on.
The couple have spent their whole lives in Chichester, West Sussex. They have 5 children between them from previous marriages who have all now flown the nest. So Les and Jean feel it's time for a change of lifestyle.
Chichester itself really hasn't got that villagey feel about it anymore.
It's got busier and busier, so we want to move from more of an urban environment to a countryside environment, and we just feel that we'd like a new playground to play in our later years.
Our buyers were all set on moving to France before the arrival of their new grandson, but now definitely want to stay in the UK. They've decided to put down roots in Somerset, after initially researching across the border.
We were looking in Dorset, and East Dorset didn't really do it for us. And then when we crossed the border into South Somerset, the beautiful hamstone buildings were there, lovely yellow stone, and you just look out across the countryside. We just thought, this is it, this is fabulous.
They're keen to move away from a coastal location and seek out the wide open spaces and fine local produce of the countryside.
It will offer us 360 degrees, because when you're here you only have 180 degrees because of the sea.
I'm looking forward to the peace and quiet. We both love walking, we like cycling as well, and to try some of the local beers as well. That'd be something
And
to look forward
ciders.
to. And ciders, yes, we do particularly like cider.
Les and Jean spent a year travelling across Europe in their trusty motorhome. Before that, Les was particularly taken with exploring British shores by boat.
You enjoyed the sailing more than me.
Jean enjoyed the leaving and the arriving.
The
bit in
leaving
the
and
middle
the
she wasn't
arriving was
keen on.
fine. The bit in the middle I was a bit frightened of. And so we found that we'd seen all the coastal areas.
We thought the motorhome would be a great way of travelling around.
To see more inland areas.
Eager to move on to the next chapter in their lives, our couple are all fired up to find the house of their dreams.
We've already sold our house, luckily, so the hunt is on quite seriously to find somewhere, sooner rather than later. This house that we're going to is going to be our first ever house that we've chosen together. So for us, it's quite a step, really, and raring to go.
Les and Jean have been touring around getting to know this part of the country, and they're open-minded about where they would like to settle down. I'm catching up with them to get a better idea of what their ideal country home looks like.
Good morning. Welcome to slightly damp Somerset. Sorry about the rain. It's not always like this here, and it's meant to clear up a bit later.
Thank you very much.
You have already sold your house.
Yes, 2 weeks ago we moved from our house in West Sussex and we're now based here.
In your motorhome?
Exactly, yes.
That's right, yes. Because we're new to the area, we have no friends or family here, so we've been out exploring all the different villages and the countryside in the area, and we like it very much.
Good, that's a good sign. So tell me exactly what it is you're looking for in terms of the house.
We'd like 3 bedrooms, preferably in a village location.
And we like enough space for the motorhome to be kept at the house, along with our car, and preferably detached.
And you say a village, what sort of village? What's your dream village?
A dream village, I suppose it's got a village shop, pub, perhaps, and the village hall where lots of activities go on so we can join in and become part of the community.
And remind us your budget?
Well, we've got a budget of up to 400,000, but if a house ticks all the boxes, then we could push up to 425,000.
Well, we've got some lovely properties, actually, so let's get in the car and go and see. Follow me, let's go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Armed with a maximum budget of £425,000, Les and Jean's brief is pretty concise. They're after a 3-bed property situated within a village with access to a local community and enough space to accommodate their motorhome. We've a stunning selection of properties lined up which reflect the Somerset heritage and charm that appeals to them so much. After viewing each one, I'll then reveal the price tags. Finally, there's the Mystery House, whose unique heritage might charm but ultimately challenge our pragmatic couple.
So psychologically, it's quite an important move. It's like a break with a lot of tradition. And...
Yes, as we both lived there in that area since we were young. 50 years we've been there. But I think we were ready for it, though.
Do you have any nerves?
Not really, no. I think because we went away for that year, travelling in Europe and met so many nice people.
I think also the year away in the van made us realise we don't need to be tied to that area. There's a big wide world out there. So I think those 2 factors have helped us to decide to make this large move for us, you know, away from friends and family. It's exciting, really.
And in terms of the property, are there any kind of no-nos or any things that you really won't tolerate?
Road noise, really, is my bugbear.
I think really as far as the homeliness of the house, I think Jean's the driver of that, really. If she's happy, then I'm happy.
It's a winning combination.
Our property search starts in the south of the county in Bishopswood. Located on the edge of the Blackdown Hills, there's a strong sense of community in this tight-knit village, where there is a local chapel and a pub. In nearby Churchenford, there's also a useful community-run shop, which would be an ideal meeting point for getting to know local residents. Back in Bishopswood, and just a short stroll from the centre, in a secluded spot, is our first option.
This is it, house number 1.
Hey, yeah, nice.
It's the old mission house. It goes back to the end of the 19th century. So you see, it is attached. That slightly yellower bit is your neighbour's.
Right.
What are your first impressions from the outside?
Big. It's good.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's a good
It's got
size.
a lovely front garden as
Yeah.
well. Not too big.
Could you get the camper van here?
I've got 9 paces for the van.
OK, well, you can measure that out later.
9 paces and it'll fit.
I was thinking about it. You could probably perhaps remodel the front garden. There's a sort of bay, but you could open that up and maybe make space for it.
Yeah, let's investigate that then and see.
Let's go in.
OK.
This former mission house was built in 1889 to house the pastor of Bishopswood Church. Constructed from local flint, in recent years the front facade has been rendered.
Coming to the front room. It's a very simple layout in this house. It's really essentially 2 big rooms downstairs, back and front
Very
windows.
light, isn't it?
In terms of proportion, is this sort of what you're looking for?
In terms of
It is.
proportion, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
really excellent.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
good size
yes.
and square, which
You
is
can
what we
always
like.
make a lot out of a square room rather
Yeah.
than a long, thin room, I think.
Yeah, it's a log burner. Beautiful.
I haven't seen that
That's
before.
what we wanted. Yeah. Very nice. Like what we see so far.
Well, let's have a look at the kitchen diner.
All right.
Wow.
Good size. This is a mirror size from next door.
Absolutely, yes. But a bigger bay window. So
Yes,
this
there's
was
a bay window
Yeah.
there, and such a lot of light coming in.
Lovely.
Yes.
This was originally 2 rooms, and the current owners sort of knocked them through so that the kitchen was part of the dining room.
I don't know whether there's a utility room as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit more storage around the corner.
Yes, yes. But really nice to be cooking here and have everybody sitting here and you can chat with them while you're at it.
That's great.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, upstairs, I'm going to show you the master bedroom. So
Okay.
On the first floor, there are 3 double bedrooms and a bathroom. One particularly spacious room in the eaves of the garage is accessed through an adjoining room just off the landing. However, we're exploring the largest bedroom in the main house.
This is a lovely room, I think, the master bedroom.
Yes, yes it is. And a nice square-ish room as well.
Again, light as well.
Windows at either end.
Yeah, lovely views of the countryside and the garden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, there is an ensuite. This is the one room that they haven't done up, so it's got a sort of disability bath in it.
Okay.
Is it tugging at your heartstrings? That's the question.
So far, for me, it's not quite ticking enough boxes. It's a nice house with nice proportioned rooms. Maybe it's just the age of the house. There's aspects of it from a maintenance point of view. There's things that need to be brought up to a level that I would prefer.
It's a bit bigger than I was expecting, really. I don't know, perhaps a little bit older.
Yes, it's hard to put your finger
I
on,
know
isn't
it
it?
is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just what
And,
you feel when you walk in initially, I suppose. And although it is growing on me because of the lightness, I mean, that is one of the factors that I do like.
I'll let you explore the other rooms upstairs in your own time. Let's go and look in the garden.
Although Les and Jean have mixed feelings about the interior of this property, the garden, which is mostly laid to lawn with maintained flower beds, has views which should lift both their spirits.
Oh, marvellous.
That's beautiful. That definitely ticks a box, without a doubt.
What do you think of the garden?
It's a manageable size. Doesn't look like too much hard work to keep.
Yeah, it's well established.
This is north-facing. I mean, to be honest, in the countryside, that doesn't really make much difference because you've got the sun all over the expanse of the day. But this is a nice place to eat in the evening.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So the back of the house, you can see the more historic stonework, which was all rendered at the front.
I prefer this flint look to it than the rendered front, to be honest.
Yeah. OK, so how much do you think this one's on the market for?
I think I would say 415,000.
I'm going to go for a more conservative 400,000.
OK, so you're closer to the mark, actually. It's actually on the market for 395,000.
Oh, OK. Right, so you weren't far out then.
Yeah, so go back inside and have a look around, and then I'll catch you at the front, and then we can press on.
OK.
Fine.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
£30,000 under budget, our first property gives them the 3 bedrooms they asked for, sits in an ideal edge-of-village setting, and benefits from stunning views. There's also potential space for Les and Jean's motorhome.
Aha! This is my man cave. That's brilliant.
It's a
I
nice
like
big
this.
garage. I'm sure you'll enjoy this.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Oh, this must be above the garage then. This is huge, isn't it? I think this is bigger than the main bedroom. But what would you do with that room?
I'm not
there,
sure what I'd
perhaps?
use it for, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a very nice house. It's got a lot of good design features in there. I found the bedroom above the garage space with that sort of ante-room is a bit of an oddity, really. From my point of view, it's not ringing my bell, as they say.
The lounge is very nice and certainly like the kitchen diner too. And the garden is to die for, and especially the views. It's quite a large property, probably a bit bigger than we were imagining. I think it's opened my eyes to the fact that I really want something a bit more cosy, I suppose. Yeah.
You ready, guys?
Yes, we are.
Just
Yes,
pull the
thanks.
door. Let's press on to house number 2.
Okay.
But before the second property, Les and Jean are getting acquainted with the Southwest's great reputation for food production. The dairy industry here contributes about £1 billion annually to the local farming economy. Artisan-made products use the region's natural resources. Cheddar cheese, made from local cow's milk, matures deep inside the caves of the famous gorge, from which it gets its name. The region is less known for its goat population and the milk they produce to make cheese. We've arranged for food enthusiasts Les and Jean to meet Matthew Organ, technical manager of Luborne Creamery. First up, they're meeting the resident goat herd.
How many goats do you have here?
On the farm here, they have a number of breeds, Sarnans, Anglo-Nubians, Alpines, and a number of crosses as well. About 1,000 milkers.
1,000. How often are the goats milked?
Twice a day.
Twice.
So it'll be early in the morning and sort of early in the evening.
So how many litres of milk would a goat produce in a year?
A typical goat here would produce about 900 litres per year.
Is the West Country particularly good for dairy farming?
Yes, it is, because the climate allows for the growth of a lot of the crops that they feed on for the whole of the year.
So what does the feed consist of?
On this particular farm, it's maize and grass silage, and they have supplemented with barley and soya. Would you like to see the creamery?
We'd love to.
Okay.
Thank you.
The milk from the farm is collected 3 times a week, and together with goat's milk sourced from other local farms, is delivered directly to the creamery in Chard. The milk is immediately pasteurised by being heated to around 70 degrees Celsius to kill harmful bacteria and retain flavour, before beginning the process of becoming cheese.
Welcome to our maturing room here, where the goat's cheese are finishing off their mould coat development. They would have been made about 9 or 10 days ago.
Do you have to do anything special for the mould to start growing?
We add special cultures to the milk to start with, and then we will then spray some onto the surface.
It feels a bit chilly in here. What actually is the temperature?
The temperature, once the cheese are on the racks, is about 13 centigrade, and we've got quite a humid atmosphere to help the coats to develop.
How much cheese do you produce a year?
For the 100-gram goat's cheese, it's about 3.25 million of those.
Lower in calories, cholesterol and fat than its bovine counterpart, goat's cheese is also popular as it's great for people who suffer from allergies to dairy products made from cow's milk. However, given the fact that goats don't produce as much milk as cows, you can expect to pay around 15% more for the product. Matthew is taking our couple to sample one of the most popular goat's cheeses in the UK. He also has a slightly less conventional recipe for them to try too.
Yes, we'd like to try a piece.
Thank you.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Very nice. Much milder than I thought it might be.
It's lovely and creamy as well. That tastes really good.
This is also something else that we recommend.
Oh! What are they?
The goat's cheese chocolate truffles. Please try one.
Oh, lovely. Yes, I'll have this one, thank you.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Yeah, really nice. Oh, you know that cheese kit I bought you a few months ago? You can start making cheese now, and perhaps we can end up with some of these.
I don't think I'll be any competition for you when I
Oh, that's
my
really
cheese making kit out. Thanks for a lovely day. It's superb.
pleasure.
Les and Jean certainly enjoyed savouring these Somerset delights, so let's return to our property search and find out if our next house whets their appetite too. To get there, we're travelling to West Chinook. Lying at the foot of Ham Hill, this attractive village is set within a conservation area, where beautiful period buildings are constructed from local Ham stone. A vibrant community thrives here, and just around the corner from the pub is our next property.
All right. Second property.
Here we are.
That's different to the last one.
Certainly is.
It's
Different
nice.
period.
Lots of room here on the drive.
Well, that's what we
Nice
thought. This
space.
is perfect for the Highlander.
Excellent.
It's a fairly modern property.
Okay.
But as you can see, it's kind of in a sort of sympathetic stone build.
I think it looks tidy, it looks compact. The house, to me, looks much more together than the last house. And again, my practical head says it looks like it's easier maintenance than the house as well.
I think it's got the potential for a lovely view out, I would imagine.
Yeah. Let's go inside.
Built in the early 1970s, this modern stone bungalow provides deceptively large living areas inside, as they're about to discover.
Come in. Here we go.
That's a surprise.
Surprise.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's big.
So it's all on one level. You've got a really nice L-shaped room, then plus the conservatory, which they added.
Does make a very nice room.
And they have an open fire there, by the looks of it as well.
Yeah, it's an
which is
open
a nice
fire, which you can
feature.
put logs on in the
Yeah.
winter. And the sort of bay window, which they also added.
That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because it
looking out to the garden. Yeah.
lets a lot of light in too.
Yeah. I think this is much more our style than the previous property. So, yeah, I'm liking what we see so far.
So this feels a bit more homely. It feels like something.
Yes, it does. I think,
I think
it's
this is
a bit
more us,
cosier,
really, isn't it?
Great. Let's take a look in the kitchen.
The light, spacious conservatory here has a lovely view over the garden and can be accessed from both the living room and the kitchen.
It's another surprise, really, isn't it? It's quite a lovely, pleasant
It's
room.
the dining kitchen. This is the area we would use on a day-to-day basis, isn't it? When just the two of us here, whereas the dining area in there, view of the family come and visit.
It's a sort of zigzag shape, the kitchen. That's partly the way they've designed it with the kitchen units, but it does mean you get extra work surfaces. Then, of course, it goes around there into the conservatory, so you can bring your food there if you're going to eat there in the summer. You can have all the windows open. It's a bungalow, obviously. The bedrooms are all on this floor, but there are plans. There's a huge loft space up the top. So there are plans, or have been plans made, to take that up and have a big master suite with an ensuite.
I suppose you'd get a feel for the house for a while and decide whether you need that space or not. So at least it's a good option to have.
Some positive thinking from Les, who's clearly buoyed by the potential of this property. Off the main hallway and to the left side of the bungalow, there are the 3 bedrooms. 2 cosy but light doubles, and 1 single currently used as a playroom. The 4-piece family bathroom is next door to what could be the master.
Couldn't decide which room to show you, actually, because there's another room at the front which is maybe a slightly bit bigger. But then there's this room. They're not huge bedrooms.
No.
No?
I think there's enough room. Obviously, there's a big wardrobe
Wardrobe
here.
fits in there.
You've got
okay.
storage here, more
Storage
wardrobe
there too.
space.
Right, the back of the house, that's nice and quiet here. Works well.
Good. Again, this is another house you need to really explore to make sense of how everything
Yeah.
joins up. But I do want to show you the garden, so
Okay.
lead the way back out.
With access to outside, there is a home office off the double garage. The rear garden here offers a large paved area, ideal for dining outdoors. But there's also another bonus at the end of the garden.
This is a little added extra.
Wow, that's
My
a surprise.
goodness, yes, what a surprise.
I didn't expect that. What a beautiful vista.
It's great, isn't it? So you really the raised terrace here really takes advantage of these beautiful rolling hills and fields. You get the church steeple over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And a little kind of barbecue area.
Yeah.
Very good.
Not too much.
Well, this is the question, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to consider the fact that we have the motorhome. It's sometimes away 2-3 months, and we have to think about whether, a little bit too much for us to manage. But, yeah, we've got to think about it. We could put the house here. We're doing business.
Might be a little more expensive. Will it be in your budget? How much do you think this is on the market for?
I think it's going to be around about sort of 400, 420 again. So I'll plump for the 410, somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I'm going rather lower than you. I think £385,000.
Okay. Interestingly, again, both of you have overestimated. This is on the market for £375,000.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cheaper than you thought.
It is, yeah. I'm
So that would
surprised.
give you quite a hefty chunk of money to kind of
Do what we wanted
do
to.
what you wanted.
Yeah, think about the loft, etc. That's a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice surprise.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
Always nice to overestimate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so go and explore, because there's another man cave for you,
Right.
and maybe have a look around the garden and see whether you can make it work for you. And I'll see you out the front.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Much more satisfying. It seems like this is more in keeping with what they're looking for, and even though the garden might be a bit big, it could just work.
£50,000 below their budget, this generous 3-bedroom bungalow situated in the heart of a village provides gorgeous views over rolling countryside. There's also more than enough parking space for their motorhome.
So, this is the conservatory. It's lovely and warm in here at the moment.
Good space.
You could sit in here in the winter and it would be nice
Yeah,
and
you
warm
get
if
the
the
sun
sun's out.
in the winter.
I'm very impressed with the property. It's got an awful lot of positives about it. The parking at the front was ideal. I've done my pacing out and the van will fit in there easily along with the car, so that certainly ticks that box for us, no problem, along with the double garage. I think it's a contender.
It's a nice house in a lovely village, in a lovely quiet location. It has a cosier feel than the previous house. I think I could see myself living in this village and in this house.
Okay,
Yes, thank you.
all done. Well, those are your 2 properties for the day.
Fine.
Thank you.
So now we can rest and get ready for the mystery house tomorrow.
Look forward to it.
Okay, great.
It's day 2 of our house hunt in Somerset, and with a budget of up to £425,000, Les and Jean from the Sussex city of Chichester are on a mission to find their perfect country pad. Coming up, our mystery property serves up a slice of history that's off the scale.
I've never seen anything like it, actually.
I'm speechless.
And I find out why Somerset is proud of its county cricket club and try and educate myself about the game.
You could explain the rules of this to me, and I'd be on board. Yesterday was interesting, wasn't it? It sort of brought everything into focus about what Les and Jean are looking for, because I think they don't really want period character property. They want something a bit more modern, a bit more sort of lock up and leave and low maintenance. So for the mystery house, we're taking them to a quite ancient and probably quite high maintenance property, but it's beautiful. And we never said it was going to be easy with the mystery house.
So what do you think we might shape for the mystery house?
Well, I've been thinking about this, and I'm thinking, bearing in mind the county we're in, Somerset, cider, maybe it's an old cider barn.
Oh, very county specific. Good. What about you, Les?
Well, on our travels, I've seen quite a few thatched properties around, so I've got a sneaky suspicion it might be a thatched property.
How would you feel about either of those?
I wouldn't mind the barn.
I think we're curious to see whatever it is, really. If it's got the wow factor, then we could have our heads turned.
For our mystery property, we're heading to Hinton St George. This sought-after village with its handsome honey-coloured limestone cottages and thatches is home to a local store, tea room and award-winning pub. Up until the 1960s, the whole village was owned by the Pullet family, whose ancestors served Queen Elizabeth I. Today, there's an active community here holding weekly events. On the outskirts of the historic centre and set within a private estate is our rather magnificent mystery house.
Well,
Here we are.
It's amazing.
it's something.
Look at that. I didn't expect that from
You
one
were.
moment.
You thought it was going to be a thatched cottage.
Or
That's right.
A barn
Or
conversion.
a barn conversion. Nothing like this at all.
Well, it is a conversion. It's a sort of stately home conversion. What we're looking at is essentially the Georgian wing of a much bigger aristocratic pile, some parts of which have been demolished. You get one very stately slice of this beautiful Georgian property.
Yeah.
Wow.
Looking forward to seeing inside.
Yeah. Sounds exciting.
Let's go look. It's quite a long drive.
Let's do it.
The Pullet family actually owned this Grade 2 listed Georgian mansion until the 1960s, when it was then sold and developed into 8 separate residential dwellings. However, the historic bones of the house have been well preserved. The mystery property is split over 4 floors, so will this layout and grandeur be a step too far for our pragmatic couple?
Aha!
Goodness. Wow.
This is a wow room, isn't it?
It is a wow room.
Impressive.
Yeah.
An extraordinary vaulted ceiling.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm speechless. It's certainly different, that's for sure.
Could you imagine living here? That's the question.
I think you could, couldn't you?
I think I could, yes.
Yeah, Jean has fancied this type of concept of an apartment or a wing in a more older, stately house. So I think you could see yourself
I
there.
could see
I don't know if I'm ready for it myself just yet,
Really?
but I think Jean might be persuaded.
What puts you off?
I suppose I'm used to the independence of having my own property with my own drive and my own garage and my own garden. I'd maybe need to think about it for a little while longer.
Well, it's a very different offering.
Yeah,
That's why we
yeah.
saved it for the mystery house. It's very gracious living. I mean, you can fill it with beautiful furniture.
Sure.
And,
Lots to explore then.
yeah. Well, actually, we're going to go down again. We're going to start with the kitchen, which is underneath us.
Okay.
OK.
In contrast to the grand proportions of the reception rooms, the charming country kitchen on the lower ground floor was refurbished by the current owner 8 years ago.
Smaller kitchen, nice and cosy, and underfloor heating throughout here.
Yes, enough cupboard space here.
Yeah. I like the colours. Nice soft
Nice
colours
and
with,
light.
with the wooden
A
work
little
surfaces.
area there to...
Yeah, that's probably where you'd eat most of your meals.
Breakfast and
It's a cosy
I think
kitchen.
it is a really cosy kitchen. I like it.
So it's not prohibitively small for you.
No, I don't think so, actually.
no.
Yeah.
It's good size.
I think, for the two of us.
We've got 3 stories, well 4 including this one actually. The middle story is a study, very nice study, and a washroom. And then the 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
At the top, and some very lovely views.
With a spring in our step, we're making our way up the impressive staircase to the top floor. There are 2 generous doubles, one of which is the master, with its own ensuite. There's also a good-sized single and a modern family shower room.
This, I think, is the most charming room. It's got amazing views. They all have views on this side.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, lovely light and airy feel to it, isn't it?
Yes, because this would be your spare bedroom in a sense.
Right. It's a very good size.
Certainly for a second bedroom.
It's a well-proportioned room.
Yes.
Very good.
Good, I'll let you explore everything in more detail later on, as always. But let's go and look at the garden and see which space you have.
Jean seems to be quietly impressed by the mystery property, even if Les might need a little more convincing. Perhaps the small but perfectly formed garden might appeal to his practical side? There's also a sun terrace, ideally positioned to take full advantage of the vast grounds, and a single garage with parking to the rear of the house.
So you have your own knot garden.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So these are like knots of topiary, box-trimmed hedges.
Box hedges, yeah.
Okay.
And it's really just this little portion, so it's a pretty small, easy maintenance garden. But all of this space behind is owned by the big house and maintained by them, so you don't have to do anything to look after that. It doesn't belong to you, but you do get to enjoy it.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
You borrow the view.
You borrow the view. This is the southwest facing, so you get sun all afternoon here.
And this is quite private in a way, isn't it, here, with the bushes round?
I mean, it's a difficult one to price.
Oh, the price, yes. I've forgotten
because
about that.
It's not really what you've been sort of looking at. But what do you think this would be worth?
Jane. No?
I would say £435,000.
I'm going to go slightly less at 425.
Well, in this instance, you were spot on. It is on at 425.
I can see, why it warrants that price, because it is a delightful property.
Obviously, it's a lot to get your head round, because it's not what you asked for. But if you want to go back in and explore, there's a whole floor that we didn't look up in the middle.
Right.
And then I'll meet you at the back, and we can go on from there.
Okay.
Bang on budget at £425,000, our elegant Georgian mystery apartment with 3 bedrooms has fabulous views over the private grounds. With a manageable garden and motorhome parking, this offers country house living in a way Les and Jean could never have expected.
Study. That's a good size, isn't it? Get the desk in there and the computer in there. You do dressmaking in here?
I think I could, yeah.
Enough light for you?
There is enough light, yes.
Yeah.
It's a lovely apartment, and that lounge is something to die for.
Beautiful vistas all round the place, and a beautiful, peaceful setting out here, out on the edge of the village. So, all in all, I think it's a really nice property.
The head is really ruling my heart, I think, on this one, and that takes precedence for us at the moment.
I think it could be a great property. I don't know if it's for me particularly. It's maybe something we'll consider at some time in the future.
So, that's all our 3 houses done.
Yeah.
Let's go and find a place where we can discuss them.
To many people, cricket is synonymous with the English countryside. Picture-perfect village greens and the sound of leather on willow. The sport was first played in southern England during the 16th century. Thought to have been a children's game in its infancy, cricket was very much an English sport. By the end of the 19th century, with the expansion of the British Empire, the game had flourished internationally and is now played by 120 million people worldwide. However, I am not one of those people, so in order to gin up on the history of this popular English sport, I've come to Somerset County Cricket Club in Taunton, one of the homes of county cricket. The first stop is Somerset Cricket Museum, where I'm meeting curator and secretary David Wood.
Hello, David.
Oh, nice to see you. Thank you for coming to visit us.
What a great museum you have. It's a lovely building.
Well, we are very proud of it. It's at least 500 years old. It's the last remaining building of Taunton Priory, which was taken over by Henry VIII in 1537.
But I'm afraid you got the presenter who knows least about cricket. And I'm actually most interested about the history of the cricket club itself.
The cricket club itself was founded in 1875 in Sidmouth.
So the one thing I do know about that Sidmouth is not in Somerset, so how did that happen?
The people who formed the club, who were from Somerset, had just played the Gentlemen of Devon and won, and obviously thought that they were on a roll, so they would set up their own county club.
Initially, the club prided themselves on being the most amateur cricket team in the county championship. That is, until a series of successful wins granted them first-class status in 1891.
So when were the glory days?
The glory days would have been about 1979 to 1983, when we won 5 cups in 4 years. And at that time, of course, we had our great big 3, Sir Vivian Richards, Sir Ian Botham and Joel Garner. The one highlight which we're least proud of is the fact that we've never won the county championship. But every year we strike out, hopefully, again and say this is going to be the year. And it will be one day.
Before it became the sport of high society in the 18th century, crude bats and balls were made from sticks and crooks in rural communities. Today, though, with 30 years' experience, one of the world's most prestigious bat-making companies is based here at Somerset Cricket Ground. Company owner and master bat maker Rob Chambers is going to give me an insight into the winning formula behind creating a world-class bat.
So you're a traditional bat maker. Are you a dying breed?
I'm probably one of only 20 left.
So talk me through the process. How do you actually make a bat?
This is a segment of an English willow tree. We source these from Sussex in cleft form. From this stage, we then machine that material to a kind of workable size.
Now it's starting to look a bit more like a bat.
The handle is actually made of a cane.
Cane as in bamboo cane?
Yeah, that's correct. It's very flexible.
Oh, right.
So if a cricket bat was made of sort of one piece, it would actually hurt every time you hit the ball.
So it's like a shock absorber?
Absolutely.
From start to finish, how long is the process?
On average, it's 2 to 3 hours. We're probably producing in the region of 40 to 50 bats a week.
And presumably you're at the top end of the market. How much does a bat go for?
Somewhere in the region of £500 for a fully bespoke cricket bat.
These championship bats marry 21st century technology with the finest traditional materials. Nowadays, the design of the bats is larger and wider, which helps propel the ball further to gain more runs in a shorter space of time. I'm catching up with the club's CEO, Guy Lavender, to see what the future holds for the club.
This is a longer form of cricket. This is the 4-day match. This is the kind of old-school cricket.
This is, in many people's view, is proper cricket. 4 days, great test of cricket skill and ingenuity, patting the sort of batsmen against the bowlers. So there's lots of other forms of cricket. 20-over cricket is the up-and-coming, the new kid on the block, really, extremely popular. And we're selling out our crowds for T20 every match that we have. T20 cricket, effectively, the clue's in the title, 20 overs a side. So the match lasts for 3 hours and one side wins. So easy to understand, easy to follow.
Do you have international sides playing here?
Really exciting time for the club. We've got some amazing things going on. We've been selected as an international venue, so we've got England playing South Africa here in 2017, and then the Men's World Cup, which takes place in England in 2019.
And young players, are you involved in kind of furnishing the future in terms of teams?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a really good age group programme. We've got talented players coming into the age groups really from under 10 onwards, and we've got a really good track record of producing some of the best talent in the country.
Well, I have to say, you've sold it to me. You're a very good salesman for cricket.
Am I good?
After years of kind of like, I'm not sure about cricket.
You've got to give it a go. T20, that's
If you could explain the rules of this to me, then I'd be on board.
Well, we could sit down for an hour.
That could take us some time. But thanks very much. It's been a real pleasure. Good luck.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Somerset County Cricket Club's pride in championing this very English sport is an inspiration, so much so that even I have been bowled over.
Time to find how we've done here in Somerset, finding a house for 3, for Les, for Jean, and their motorhome. Let's find out. Hello, guys. Been a lovely week in Somerset with you two.
Very nice. Yes,
enjoyed it
thank you.
very much.
And also really nice because you are so ready to move. You know, you've got your house sold, you're living in,
Yes,
in
we
your,
have.
in your
Yeah.
motorhome.
Yeah. We
That's
can
right.
stay in the motorhome for the summer. I'm a bit concerned if it goes on too long. The
We
winter
don't wanna be in
approaches.
the winter. No,
Yes.
no.
So of all the houses that you looked at, was there one that jumped out at you?
I think the second house was the one that we quite
That's the one
fancied.
we liked the best.
And what
Yeah.
did the second house give you in terms of your journey towards finding a house here in Somerset?
It gave us certainly room for the motorhome, which is priority, really.
Yeah. And it's similar to the type of house we've had in the sort of the modern refinements that we didn't find in the other houses.
And what happens next? What's the next step?
Well, I think make arrangements to visit that second house again.
Yeah, but it's the first three houses we've seen since we've been in Somerset, so I think, you know, maybe have a look at one or two other houses as well now, just to compare. But
Yes, now you're free.
you've set us on our way, which is great.
That's great. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope that you find somewhere before the winter, but also that you get to enjoy Somerset in your mobile home for a while.
Well, I think we've certainly decided from the time we've been out here that Somerset's the right place for us.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
That's a bonus.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. It does show remarkable restraint that Les and Jean have been here in the county, driving around Somerset villages in their motorhome, not looking at any properties prior to us showing them our three. I'm hoping that even if they don't go for one of our houses, it will have inspired them to think differently and maybe put in some new elements into their house search. And I hope that it's inspired you to join us next time for more Escape to the Country.
Les and Jean gave the second property a lot of thought, but finally decided the layout wasn't ideal for them. However, the good news is that after our Somerset property search, they had an offer accepted on a house in Lopen and are set to move into the county very soon. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and would like our help, you can apply at bbc.co.uk/be-on-a-show.
By the churches of St James and St Mary Magdalene, this historic county's cricket teams have been playing on this very pitch for the last 134 years. But where is this slice of quintessentially British sporting life? Find out in just a moment.
Today's buyers can't wait to make their great escape from the coast and immerse themselves in rural living. At times, it seems as if our properties over-deliver.
It's a bit bigger than I was expecting, really.
But then some aspects receive an overwhelming response.
Wow, that's
My
a surprise.
Goodness, yes, what a surprise.
I didn't expect that. What a beautiful vista.
Today I'm in Somerset, and this is the county cricket ground in Taunton. The origins of cricket go back to the 1600s with a game called Stowball, which used a tree stump as a wicket and a leather bag filled with quills as a ball. But by the end of the 19th century, the modern rules had developed, and in 1875 the Somerset County Cricket Club was formed, and it's now one of the 18 top clubs in the country. Now, I'll be coming back to find out more about the history of cricket later in the show, but the noble game is not the only thing this county is famous for. Buying a property here in Somerset, you'll be pleased to know that prices hang temptingly below the national average. The average price for a detached house in England and Wales is £284,000 at the moment. But if you come shopping here in Somerset, you could make a saving of £7,000 on that price. Although there is price difference. The further south you go, for example, from the Somerset levels down towards the Dorset border, prices do go up. What about our buyers, though? What sort of people want to own a property in this glorious county? Let's meet them and find out.
Former marketing consultant Les met retired civil servant Jean when they were out walking as part of an organised group back in the late 90s.
I would describe Jean as being someone who is very loving, very caring, and also up for trying anything, an adventurer.
I would describe Les as the ideas man, coming up with all the ideas to fulfil these adventures that we end up going on.
The couple have spent their whole lives in Chichester, West Sussex. They have 5 children between them from previous marriages who have all now flown the nest. So Les and Jean feel it's time for a change of lifestyle.
Chichester itself really hasn't got that villagey feel about it anymore.
It's got busier and busier, so we want to move from more of an urban environment to a countryside environment, and we just feel that we'd like a new playground to play in our later years.
Our buyers were all set on moving to France before the arrival of their new grandson, but now definitely want to stay in the UK. They've decided to put down roots in Somerset after initially researching across the border.
We were looking in Dorset, and East Dorset didn't really do it for us. And then when we crossed the border into South Somerset, the beautiful hamstone buildings were there, lovely yellow stone, and you just look out across the countryside. We just thought, this is it, this is fabulous.
They're keen to move away from a coastal location and seek out the wide open spaces and fine local produce of the countryside.
It will offer us 360 degrees, because when you're here you only have 180 degrees because of the sea.
I'm looking forward to the peace and quiet. We both love walking, we like cycling as well, and to try some of the local beers as well. That'd be something
And
to look forward
ciders.
to. And ciders, yes, we do particularly like cider.
Les and Jean spent a year travelling across Europe in their trusty motorhome. Before that, Les was particularly taken with exploring British shores by boat.
You enjoyed the sailing more than me.
Jean enjoyed the leaving and the arriving.
The
bit in
leaving
the
and
middle
the
she wasn't
arriving was
keen on.
fine. The bit in the middle I was a bit frightened of. And so we found that we'd seen all the